Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Schedule Pro Gamer. Today we're doing a Fiora game. And Fiora is played by Saswat, and he's in a game with me in fact. And Wincherman, who's also a viewer, Simon, who's a viewer, and then Evelyn, who for some reason needed to go Evelyn Jungle, which is kind of like Jungle Twitch, but suckier. So we will have to see how that goes. Well, actually we won't, but we will be following Saswatch around, who is, I think, going top. I don't really remember. And I have decided that I find this, the new thing they stole from Dota 2, where they put all of the support items in the chat. I decided I find that very annoying. And in the beginning I thought it would be very helpful, but because every side word, every vision word is in the chat, it totally drowns out, plus all of the new things they put in the chat when you kill someone on a killing spree, when you reach a killing spree, and when you have a double kill, things like that. Yeah, it is kind of drowning out all of the chat that the players have. So if you put a dragon timer or a baron timer, especially baron timers because they take quite a long time, if you put those in the chat you cannot find them anymore, so you really have to search for them, and I would really recommend them to make two separate chats, one for these futile messages about who buys what and who's on a killing spree and who's not, things like that, and on the other side they would need the player chat, because the player chat is actually useful to be able to view that, and also to be able to, well, do other things with it, to not only post your messages but also to warn your allies for ganks and such. So split the two and make sure that players have the option to close the futile one, so the one with all of the support items in it, and yeah, who's on a killing spree and who kills someone on a killing spree. Those kind of messages that don't really make any sense anyway. But anyway, going back to the game here, or going into the game, we see Fiora up against Vladimir. Apparently Vladimir is supposed to win this. Although, yeah, I haven't seen a game yet in which he actually won. And I've seen 4 games now with Vladimir against Fiora, which is kind of strange because Vladimir wasn't played a whole lot, even after his recent buff. Yeah, let's first go through the skills, and yeah, I'll put this to auto camera, zoom out a bit so you can see a little bit more, and we'll go into the game in a little bit. Anyway, first of all, Duelist, her innate ability. She regenerates some health over a period of 6 seconds. Each time she deals physical damage, so that's all of her skills as well as the basic attack. I think all of her skills deal physical damage as well. Physical damage... no, this is actually magic damage. So this one, yeah, it doesn't actually do damage, so it only increases attack speed, and this one does physical damage. So it does stack when you hit a champion, but not when you hit minions. So you can have constant regeneration up, and as you can see it goes up by 1 each level, so it starts off at 8. And we're now at 10, but pretty soon it will be 2 health per second for each second, which is a very nice thing to have. It is kind of having a health potion that just keeps on you, plus it stacks with actual health potions. And obviously when you hit a champion up to 4 times, you can get way more than just the 2 health per second. So that is very nice to have. So then the lunge, which is currently at level 1. I don't know what you level first. Apparently burst of speed, which seems to be, to me, to be the best skill anyway. Lunge is a very short range gap closer. You can use it twice. within 4 seconds for the same mana cost as the first one. So the second one is for free. And the cooldown, I don't know if it actually, yeah, it does start once you launch the second one. So nice first blood here with the help of Evelyn. Yeah, so the lunge is a gap closer, and as I said, you can do it twice, so you can also get away with it. If you have enemy minions behind you, you can dash to them twice, and yeah, that way you can get away. Or you can use it because there's a 4-second period in between them. You can use it to get to your enemy, hit them, and then get back out to one of the enemy minions. Then riposte. Riposte increases attack damage, and increasing attack damage is always good, especially since it's passive, so you don't have to do anything. And then as an active, you can reflect basic attacks. So it works against champions, monsters, and large minions. I don't know what large minions are. Maybe they are just the cannon minions. I don't know. Because monsters are the ones, the neutral monsters. So everything in the jungle, everything which both teams can attack. But I'm not actually sure what large minions are, so it might be just the cannon minion, but as I said, I don't know. So burst of speed, which seems to be the best skill to level up. It increases the attack damage by a lot. As you can see, at level 3 it's 90% additional attack speed for 3 seconds, and each basic attack or lunge she lands during this time increases the movement speed by 11%, stacking up to 3 times, so you can get a lot of movement speed out of it, and you can even use it therefore to escape. So if you can use burst of speed, then lunge to a minion, then you get 11% extra movement speed, and you can use that to get out of the situation. Because I don't know, maybe someone has ghosts. Yeah, a ghost increases by 35%, and yeah, if you land 3 of the 3 lunges or basic attacks, burst of speed will increase your movement speed by 33%, which means that you get a free ghost, which is excellent. Especially if you're jungling, of course, because if you use it to kill a minion, so if you use burst of speed exactly at the moment where the last hit will kill the last minion, then you can get to the next camp very quickly as if you had ghost on. So excellent skill. I think it's very powerful, maybe a little bit too powerful. Especially, well, the 90% increased attack speed means that you do so much more damage. And because it has a 13-second cooldown, that is kind of, yeah, okay-ish. But still, your burst is pretty high with it. Then the ultimate, I think the animation on that is terrible, but okay, that's just my opinion, and it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. So she dashes around the battlefield, striking random champions 5 times for a pretty decent amount of damage. And successful strike against the same target deal 25% of the damage, which means that, yeah, even though you're hitting them 5 times, you actually only hit them twice. Because the first time will be for the full damage, and then the other 4 will be for 25% each. And that means that if you get 5 strikes off on one champion, then you actually get double the damage that it says here. So that's 320 plus 56, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it is nice to have, but it's definitely not the nuke it can be. And in team fights, this one is much more useful than in a 1v1 situation. Obviously, it is a gap closer as well, so if you hit someone, so it's kind of a utility spell, because there are two utilities to it. It can be used as a gap closer to prevent people from running away from you with Ghost or Flash. So there's an example. If you used it just when the Flash came out, it would have followed, because the last hit, well, it always hits 5 times, and the last hit will end up well, with your champion. And here you see that it's not really that big of an amount of damage, but it is a taking 1 tower shot for 3. Yeah, would have died anyway to the Shaco, but still. Yeah, the second utility you can get out of it is the moment you launch it, it takes, well, about 2 seconds to complete, maybe a second and a half, I don't actually know. But during that time, you are untargetable. So most of the ultimates will not actually damage you, although damage over time will still damage you. As well as area of effect damage if you're in the area. Yeah, it is useful. It is definitely useful to be untargetable for a short amount of time, especially if there are other champions around. So if you have your team with you, or, well, multiple team members, the other team members can do the damage while you are doing damage, but are untargetable, and you may be very low health, and the enemy might want to target you, but instead has to target your teammates because you're untargetable. Anyhow, that's the skill package that she has. Now let's go into the fight. So we saw her get 2 kills already. The first blood with the help of Evelyn, and then a kill just now by tower diving, where she got killed back by Shaco. Placing a ward here, for some reason not using the Wriggle's Lantern first, although the Wriggle's Lantern will actually regenerate, so you always plant that one first. And yeah, she's just going to farm again. Let's see how the farm is doing. We are currently at 58, with the highest at 76, so yeah, about 20 minions lost there. But against Vladimir, she's doing very well. Obviously, you cannot directly compare mid lane to top lane, because, well, top lane has different battles. She has been harassing Vladimir quite a bit. Yeah, and all that really matters is whether or not you outfarm your laning opponent. Because, as you can see, she chooses, or he rather, chooses to dash onto Vladimir rather than get the last hits. Obviously, you should still get the last hits, but if you prioritize harassment over farming, then yeah, you're not going to be as farmed, but you have the ability to underlevel your opponent, which is already the case because Sasquatch currently level 9. Where Venom Tommy is actually level 8, now level 9. So about 3/4 of a level ahead, and that is a pretty big deal at level 9. Because at level 9 that means quite a lot of experience. I mean, if you're half a level ahead in level 1, yeah, that takes about, I don't know, 20 seconds to catch up. And only a few minions, but by the time you get to level 9, the experience has risen to significant amounts. And yeah, we see the Shaco trying to do blue buff, and oh, not really in the best situation here. Yeah, took out the wrong champion, or the wrong one. Actually almost took out the clone before switching to the actual target. And yeah, you can do some pretty nifty tricks to see who's who. If you use lunge, sorry, on both of them, so because you can recast it immediately, you can just target the one, then target the other, and the one that loses least health is the one that is the actual one. So that's not the clone, because the clone will lose a lot more health. So same goes for burst of speed, because you can switch targets really quickly, because you get multiple attacks. Because you now have 120% increased attack speed. Obviously, you never go attack speed items on this this champion, because it now has 11-second cooldown, which makes it available in every team fight. Although it's only up once every team fight, so maybe it is still useful to get some attack speed. But I definitely would recommend attack damage, because it also adds to everything else. So to your dash and to your blade walls. This one, yeah, it scales off AP, and that's really not very useful. So I don't know why they keep putting AP skills on AD champions, but I guess if you have 5 extra AP, probably from some skill or from some mastery, sorry. Yeah, I guess it is still useful to have that or something like that, but yeah, I mean the 5 extra damage, yeah, nobody really cares about that. There are very few situations in which that will actually save your life or get you a kill. The fact that you can reflect the damage, yeah, that is way more important, because you don't get hit by the attack. And I thought I understood, I just noticed that, but it only reflects a certain amount of damage. I thought it would reflect all of the damage to the opponent, so instead of attacking you, because he gave, so Freak gave the example of Nasus attacking you with his Q, and he pretended at least to that damage was very significant, but yeah, I guess at level 5 it will be significant damage. But yeah, I thought he reflected all of the damage that Nasus did there, but yeah, he just prevents all the damage and then does a chunk of damage back. But obviously 110 damage is not a big deal if you have 180 AD. So yeah, it's more that you don't take damage, so it's more of a defensive skill in my opinion than anything else. Fiora going into the jungle, she is a really good jungler, she is a really fast clearer. I don't know early game, but with the boost of speed, she is really quick. And as I said, if you can clear camp with it and then immediately are able to run off, then you get 3 seconds of ghosts after the camp, so you can move around the jungle pretty quickly. Yeah, by now the game is pretty equal, 10 to 11. Yeah, Eve is running around with an oracles. Hadn't really done a whole lot, only has 41 minions. And yeah, it's building AP, which I really, yeah, I have to dislike that, because Evelyn AP is getting no hit points at all, and she's kind of a nuker, so she does damage once and then she gets killed most of the time, unless she gets the kill. But if you're not fed, so if you don't get enough farm, then there's no way you can keep up with the AP you need to kill someone. So you're kind of useless, because you are the one that's engaging, you are the one that's going to take most of the damage early on from whoever you try to assassinate before your teammates can come in. And even if your teammates come in and you get the kill, you most of the time die anyway. Yeah, so far she hasn't died, so she's been doing a good job of that. For the rest, yeah, I guess Melzahar is doing okay. He has the highest farm in the game, but yeah, as you can see, 3 guys over 100, 1 over 120 even. And here the biggest farm is 66. So it's not like it is going to be very close this game. It seems close from the kills, but all in all, it really isn't. Because we have a huge gold lead. We got Dragon, by the way. So yeah, we have a huge gold lead, and all in all, yeah, I'm not really sure what the enemy is planning to do to come back from this, because they are so far behind in gold and farm, and well, they're only equal in kills, so it's not like they make up for the lack of gold income by minions by killing champions. Because if they were up by like 10 champions, yeah, it would still be equal, and they would probably still be, or they would probably even be ahead, because they would get some turrets for that. But as it is now, the blue team took down 2 turrets. By the way, this is colorblind mode for those of you who don't know. But the blue team took out 2 turrets, and the purple team, no, the red team took out 0 turrets. So all in all, yeah, they don't really have a chance to come back in this. Colorblind mode, if you want to know, is here in the video options. So you go to options, which is escape, video, and then you enable colorblind mode. And by enabling colorblind mode, you get blue minions with blue health bars instead of green health bars on the blue team. So the health bars of the blue team match the fact that they are the blue team. So normally you would get red health bars on the enemy and green health bars on your team, even if you are, well, the purple team. And now you get red health bars, red turrets, red champion health bars on the enemy team. The only thing they didn't change is the color of the minions, because the minions are still blue on this side and purple on the other side. So yeah, it's not a big deal, but still. So there was really no escape here for for Fiora. Only, well, Evelyn. Yeah, Evelyn trying to get a kill on 2 champions, even though Fiora was already dead. She was already trying to run out, and at least Fiora got a kill out of it. So now it became a 1-for-2 trade. Anyhow, yeah, at the moment not a lot of things happening. Ezreal is pushing the bottom lane, and who was here? Someone was here. Oh, there it is. Vladimir is pushing top lane. He wants to take out his turrets, and since he is an AD carry, he's going to be very slow at pushing. But we have no teleports, at least I think we have no teleport. No, we have 0 teleports. We don't have CV either. I stopped using CV unless it's like a ranked match or a pre-made team. Then I still like to use CV because it's still somewhat useful, but it also depends on who you're up against. If you have a jungler you need to keep track of, such as Twitch or Shaco, then I will take it. But if you have a jungler that really doesn't matter at all, then I don't really care. Also, if you're counter jungling, or if your team is planning to counter jungle, I would take CV, and CV being clairvoyance for those of you who don't know. Yeah, it is still then a useful spell, because if you want to counter jungle, you need to keep track of the enemy jungler, you need to keep track of when buffs are up, and you use it for those kind of things. For the rest, you use wards to prevent the ganks, or you just make sure that you don't die, because that is the new way to handle that, apparently, according to Wicked. For those of you who don't know him, he is a pro gamer from Denmark, I think. And yeah, he kind of has the opinion that in top lane, because he's a top lane player, in top lane you don't need to ward, you just need to make sure that if a gank comes in, you don't die. And that is, yeah, it makes you get more gold, obviously, because if you're not spending it on wards, that is good. But yeah, it's kind of a vague concept of saying, well, you just shouldn't die, because if we could prevent dying, then nobody would die. Ever. Obviously, I do still like to see wards. I play a lot of games without wards nowadays, with only wards in the early game when you're really squishy. But especially if you have, because I normally play support, if you have someone like Alistar as support, you really don't need any wards. You need wards really early on, when everyone's still very squishy, and if the jungler would come in, they could one-shot you. So you buy 3 at the beginning, and then after that, yeah, you don't really need to. Because you have Headbutt, you have Pulverize, you can protect your carry pretty well, plus you have your own ultimate to get out of it, if you really are in trouble. So Dragon is up again. I haven't really paid attention to that, but we're going to get all of the dragons this game. So here is where wards come in pretty handy, and everyone is just standing around waiting for the enemy. So we ward up everything, and Eve gets nuked immediately. As you can see, she didn't do a whole lot. She did a little bit of damage to Galio, but that's about it. And yeah, she doesn't even get the assist there, but she almost got nuked down and almost gets out of it, and I have to use all of my heals on her to make sure that she can stay in. And yeah, therefore my carries were in danger, because she is not building any HP, not building any armor, and a surrender vote failed. And we're really not strong enough to do Baron at this point. We need to ward it though. And yeah, we have... why not Baron? It is a good question. It is a valid question, I guess. We have one Wriggles Lantern. We have no Wriggles Lantern on our jungler, so Evelynn is not going to do any damage to the Baron. Malzahar is not going to do a lot of damage to the Baron, except, yeah, maybe with his Null Void. I don't know if that has a maximum damage to minions, though. It probably has. Fiora is going to do a lot of damage to Baron. And Asriel really doesn't have any big items completed yet, because he hasn't gone home in quite a while. And yeah, obviously Sona is not going to do any damage to Baron. So I wouldn't really be sure if we would be able to do Baron here. But yeah, Malzahar might do more damage to Baron than I think, but I don't really think he would do that much damage. So Evelynn going back to jungling. She hasn't been doing a whole lot of jungling, but yeah, it is still useful, of course, getting the jungle minions in the late game, because it is really important to keep farming, to keep that gold income going. And yeah, Fiora engaging here against 3 enemy champions does draw out an ignite, but yeah, and Evelynn just standing around doing nothing here. There she is, finally coming in when the fight was already won. Nobody was in any real danger anymore. She finally comes in, and even though she gets a pretty decent score here, yeah, you could easily see who was the clone here. But yeah, Evelynn, just like Twitch, needs to be the one engaging a fight, and therefore needs to have HP, because by this time the fight is already won. And if you come in right then you're just kill stealing, and even though you get a nice score out of it, you're not really useful to the team at all. So I was taking some shots there because I knew I wasn't going to die, and the enemy, or well, my carries might still get the enemy if they're high enough hit points. Unfortunately, Fiora did die because I couldn't save her. Yeah, well, she should be able to take care of herself, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Going for the Zeal, the Last Whisper. Last Whisper is a really good item if the enemy actually has armor. There's pretty decent armor on Shaco. No armor here, no armor here, no armor here, and no armor here. So, Last Whisper, a little bit too much, especially since she already had the Brutalizer. Brutalizer, building that into the... I forgot the name of it. Come on. Yeah, Yomu's Ghostblade. Yeah, Yomu's Ghostblade would be really helpful here because it combines very well with the burst of speed. You can keep attacking people for quite a bit. If you put them together, you get an insane amount of attack speed, but the better way to use them is one after the other, because stacking multiple attack speed items makes them less useful. It adds less damage than yeah, using them in series, so one after the other. Because the attacks, yeah, because of the way attack speed works. Attack speed works in a very easy way. You just take your level 1 attack speed, and that's your basic attack speed, so that's 100%. And adding this 120% adds 120% of your level 1 attack speed. I don't know if it's actually level 1 or if level 1 already stacks like 2% more, because every level you gain. So at this point we're level 16 here. So at level 16 it will either have stacked 15 or 16 times the amount of attack speed you get for leveling up. And therefore, if you add the 120% additional attack speed, it is not 120% of this 1.14. It is actually the yeah, I want to say the 0.974, but that's not true. It is actually a really low amount, normally around 0.78, something like that. So Evelyn over here, obviously not able to... Oh, gets hit by the Vladimir. That is interesting. So LeBlanc here, nuking down, or trying to nuke down Sona. And therefore, because everyone keeps using their skills, this is the time to engage. And there we go. So we are now going to engage because they used their... Well, Vladimir used his defensive thing, his pull. LeBlanc used her nuke, which is her Q plus any other skill, because her Q is coming back up pretty quickly. And yeah, because of this team fight, they decide to give up. There's no way they can do this if they don't play their skills right. And yeah, as you might have seen from the Vladimir videos I've been doing, the game analysis, Vladimir is really based on details. So if you use your pool incorrectly, you are probably going to die, and that's exactly what happened here. Your Sanguine pool has a 12-second cooldown or something like that. So if you use it, people will know that for the next 12 seconds or so. I don't know the exact time at level 5 or so. But for at least a significant amount of time, you're not going to be able to protect yourself anymore. So if you use it in this situation, your team is screwed, because they can the enemy team can just engage on you. Same goes for LeBlanc. LeBlanc just used 3 skills on Sona, not killing her, not even close to killing her. Sona can just heal up, and even if she doesn't heal up, she's not a carry, so she doesn't matter in the team fight. She is just going to stand around, do some damage, provide AP AD armor, no, AD, AP AD aura, that's what I want. So she doesn't matter. Late game, you should really try to focus the carries on the enemy team and not care about the support. Obviously, if you can kill the support without blowing all of your skills, then that is a great thing to do. But if you kill the support and use all of your skills on it to get the kill, then the enemy team is just going to kill your whole team. And yeah, that's the way it works with Alistar and Sona and kind of the tankier of the supports. Because Sona doesn't seem to be very tanky, but she can become pretty tanky, especially with her healing aura on. Obviously Soraka can do that as well, but Soraka's heal is really valuable in a team fight because it provides such a huge amount of armor. Whereas Sona gives her heal to herself as well as one of the allied champions. So it's kind of a win-win situation there. If you try to kill her, then she can still do the boost, she can still boost everyone, and she can heal up other people while healing up herself. So all in all, well played on Fiora's part, and I hope to see you next time. GG.